HTML links. So in HTML, they allow developers to create links that connect web pages and resources together. So I mentioned yesterday that HTML was created basically to share information on the web, to share information. Originally, there wasn't any idea that, we are going to create a complex website or a web application. Basically, it's just to share information, and that's all. Gradually, or as things keep on changing, they have to come up with different ways of making things better. So then, when they were using HTML to share information, they can create different pages. You know, we have a website, and then a website consists of web pages, right? Now, how to interlink or how to connect these pages together is what link is all about. And remember, an hypertext is a text that acts as a link, or such that when you click on that link, it will take you to a particular location on the web. So HTML allows developers to create links that connect web pages and resources together. And then links enable navigation within a website, between different websites, and to various types of content. All right, so we have the syntax here. So links in HTML are created using the A tag. Right, we have different tags in HTML, but to create a link, we use the A tag, or you call it the anchor. So the anchor element with the href attribute. So yesterday we mentioned that an attribute describe an element, or it provides additional information about an element, right? So this anchor tag, without the href attribute, there is no way this link can actually work. So it is the href. Href stands for hypertext reference. So which means the location where the site you want to visit is, all right, where the site is located. So for instance, if you click on this text, ideally the link is supposed to take you to this URL, that is www.scootygent.com. That's if the site is available on the server. And then we have different types of links. We have the absolute links, we have the relative. Okay, first let's look at absolute. So absolute links specifies the full URL of the destination page or resource. As you can see, this is a good example, from the HTTPS and then www.scootygent.com. This is a perfect example of an absolute link. And then we have the relative links as well, which specify the path to the destination page or resource relative to the current page. So when you create folders, just as we have done in previous session, right, we can create directives or folders, right? So these folders, they can be related, or there is a way we can establish a relationship whereby we don't need to create an absolute link or a full URL. All right. So we also have the email links. So this opens the default email client to send an email to a specific address. All right. So there are links that allow us to send emails to a specific address, and this is how we pass the value to the href attribute. So href is the attribute here, then mail to full column, and then you specify the email address. So info@scootygent.com, or maybe wherever email you want to send the message to, you have to pass it here after the mail to and the full column. All right. And then we have the anchor links, or you can call it the internal link. So this link specify sections within the same web page. Okay, so links to specific sections within the same web page. So for instance, if you are scrolling, there are some websites whereby if you are scrolling and you reach the bottom, okay, the last part of the website or of the web page, right? Usually there is this up arrow. Instead of you to keep scrolling to the top, you can simply click on the up arrow and then to take you to the top of the page. So we can use the anchor link or the internal link to achieve that kind of scenario. All right, and then we also have the attributes. We have attributes in HTML in the anchor tag. We have the target attribute, and then we have the title. So we have the href. Href is one of the attributes. We have the target attribute and then the title attribute. Now the target specifies where to open the linked document. Have you ever click on a particular link and then it opens a new tab? There are some links whereby it will load the same page. So you can use the target attributes to achieve that kind of operation. All right. So we have the blank dash underscore blank to open a new tab. All right, for that particular web page. And then we have the title attribute that provides additional information about the link. So it acts as a tooltip text, describing what the link is all about. All right, so quickly, let's get our hands dirty and see how we can do that. So I will head back to today's. You're welcome. I will name these 5 links, and that's because we uploaded 4 videos yesterday on YouTube. So I want to follow that structure actually. All right, so 5 links, and then I'm going to open this with code. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will create a new file. I will name it index.html. And then I'm going to get the standard HTML markup. Remember, the first line has to be the doc type declaration. So doc type HTML, and then followed by the root element. The root element of every HTML document is the HTML element, right? So we get that. And I mentioned in the Marvelous network, please you can rejoin. Although it's rainy here, so I don't know where you are right now, but kindly rejoin if that's sorry. Thank you. So please can you all hear me clearly? Am I audible enough?
Yes, I can.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, all right, thank you. Now, I mentioned that in the HTML, we usually have two elements, right? Which are the head and the body. The head and the body, and then right in the head, we have this meta tag, which is a self-closing tag, a character set, which is set to UTF-8. All right, and then we also have another meta tag, which helps with the responsiveness of our website. So it has this attribute of name, which is set to the viewport, and then we have the content set to width is set to whatever width the device is. So the device width. Then of course we need to provide the title of our document. So I'm going to name this page. Save, and then right in the body, I'm going to get an heading and then say the home page. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it this way, home page, save. Now I'm going to create another, okay, let's run this first. 5. So I'll open this up. In the browser, basically. Okay, so we have this home page. Here's the output. So I'm going to create another document, another HTML document. I'll name this about maybe services. Matter. Services.html. Again, since it is a new HTML document, I need to follow the standard markup. So guys, I mean, there is a shortcut that I can actually use that will get me the standard markup. But I mean, I'm not going to do that for now. Maybe in the next 2-3 sessions, I can introduce that because I feel there are some who are actually new to this, and having to use shortcut at this point, I don't think is quite encouraging. So that's why I'm writing everything from scratch. But I mean, if you're experienced and if you know what you're doing, why not? You can get the shortcut and to make your work more faster. All right, again, the root element, which is the HTML, And right here we have the head and the body. And in the head, I'm going to get the meta tag with the character set attribute set to UTF-8, and then another meta tag, the name, get us the viewports and the content. We want the width to be set to device width. So obviously we need the title for our document. I'm going to name the service page or services page. And the heading, something for our user to see or the online visitors. So I'm going to say this is the services page. Save. So quickly, I'm going to open the second one as well. The second document. And good. I think we have, yes, we have two web pages now in our website or in our document. So first the home page and then the services page. Obviously, there is no connection between these two pages, right? Because I mean, from this page, there is no way I can click a text and then it will take me to services page. Likewise, in services page, there is no a text or a link that I can click that will take me to home page. So this is where link or HTML links actually come in. So remember, we use the anchor tag, that's the A tag. I'm going to start from the index, that's the home page, index.html. Right after the H1. I mean, you can place your link anywhere you want. I mean, I want this to be after the heading. So we introduce the A tag, and then the content that I want for this link is service page. You can give this any name that you want. All right, so I'm going to save this now. Get back to the browser and then refresh. So look at this. This is just a plain text. This is not an hypertext. Are we together? You see, I'm clicking, nothing is happening. It's not taking it to anywhere because I have not provided the hypertext reference. Remember, we mentioned that the A tag is expecting what? The href attribute. So the href attribute determines the location, all right, of the web page, of the information that you actually want your user to be redirected to. So, and that is why you see this text is just like a plain text or like a paragraph element. All right. So the moment we introduce the href attribute, you're going to see that the text will change from black to maybe I think purple or blue color. So now to send this, okay, to the service page, first I want to show us the absolute parts. Remember, we have different types of links, right? Take it back to the slide. We have the absolute links, right, which specify the full URL of the destination page or resource. And then we have the relative links, specifies the path to the destination page or resource relative to the current page. Now, if we were to use relative links, right, back to the VS Code, I will simply type, okay, services.html. So this is a perfect example of a relative link. But if I want an absolute link that is a full URL, right, one way I can do this is I will go back to my directory, that's the file explorer. Now, on the address bar, I can simply click here to copy this part. Now, this part here is the full link to this directory or to this folder. The folder name is 505-links, right? Now, I want to access this services page, the full link. Look at the full address from my local Dixie, users, Timileyin, desktop, ScootyGen, web design, and then the current folder that we are right now. So I'm going to copy this, copy back to the VS Code. Now, instead of the relative link, I'm going to dump this right here. And then the next thing I need is obviously the backward slash and then services.html. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this and then head back to the browser. I'm going to refresh. So you see it has changed from black color to purple, and obviously it has this underline, right? So by default, this is how link appear, or this is what or a link look like on web pages. So now I'm going to click this, and you see, just like in magic, it actually it takes me to the services page. So this is a full URL that is the absolute link. Please, are we together? Any question about this before we proceed? All right, no question. Yes. All right, I believe we are good with that. Okay, so I'm going to create a comment. In our last session, we talked about comments. I said we use comments for good readability and documentation of our program, right? So I'm going to say absolute link. All right, absolute. So for us to see relative link, I'm going to create another document actually, and then I will name this contact.html. So any document, the doctor declaration, the HTML root element, the head, body, and in the body, we need this meta tag, which is a self-closing tag with an attribute of character set to UTF-8, and then another meta tag. I mean, if you do this all by yourself in every HTML document that you are creating, I mean, as a beginner, right? Trust me, in a short time, you get used to it. So we need report contents with set to device width, and then the title contact page. So we need an heading, something for our user. So I'm going to save this, and then back to. Okay, so before we actually talk about the relative link, another type of absolute link is, for instance, if I want to create a link that will take me to Netflix, obviously, right? If I head back to the browser, say for instance, if I open up a new tab and say netflix.com, right? This will take me to netflix.com. That's if you are connected, please. You have to be connected for you to get the same output. So this is Netflix homepage, right? I can put the full URL here. Obviously, the URL is so Netflix page is closed. So I want to create another link. Remember, we start with the A tag. All right. Then you need the content, something your user can actually see, a descriptive text, okay, that will tell the user, okay, when I click on this link, this is what the link will, or this is where the link will take me to the Netflix page. Netflix page. Again, if I head back to the browser and refresh, that should be the page, right? Good. We have what? Netflix page in dark color, black color actually, because we haven't provided the href attributes. So right now, I'm going to provide the href attributes. And so the absolute link, that is the full URL of Netflix, is https www.netflix.com. I'm going to save this, and then back to the browser, refresh. Good. So now that's changed from a plain text to an hypertext. Now if I click, see what happens. So automatically it takes me to the Netflix page, or back button to go back. So these two are absolute links. All right, so let's look at relative link and HTML. So relative link. So I want to create a relative link that will redirect my users to the contact page. All right, and all I need to do is to understand the current folder or the current directory where that link is located or where that document is located. And obviously, we have the contact page and the home page, the contact documents, the contact HTML documents, and the index HTML documents in the same directory. A directory is the same thing as folder, right? So you can call a folder a directory or a directory a folder. So both index.html and contact.html, they live in the same directory. So which make it more easier for us to redirect our user. So I'm going to create another link, contact page, save. So we need the href attribute. And then all we need right now is the name of the document. Please don't just give the name. The extension also matters. It matters a lot. So .html, save. Let's head back to the browser and see if that works. Save, click, and yes, it works. So this is how we create, or how we can create, a relative link. Now I will head back. Now this is contact page. There is no way I can go back to home page. I mean, without the use of the default browser back button. This is actually a poor user experience. If you have to rely on the back button provided by a browser, it is actually, I mean, you don't have to tell your users to always refer to the browser back button. So there should actually be a link that will take your user back to any page they want on your website. Remember, a website consists of web pages, right? So this contact page is a single web page in our website. So we have 3 web pages right now. So contact.html is a web page, index.html is a web page, services.html is another web page, and we want to establish links that can redirect users from one page to another in the same website. So we don't want our users to rely on the back button provided by the browser. So now what I want to do is I want to create a link that will take me back to home page right from the contact page. So what that means is that I will go to contact.html, right? Because that is where I want the link. And then I will create the A tag and say home page, right? And then right here, I will specify the href, which is called the hypertext reference, and then specify the location of the web page that I want my users to be redirected to. So obviously the home page is the index.html. Now using the relative link, since both documents live in the same directory, I can simply refer or reference the index.html. Save this and then back to the browser. Refresh. Now we have the link, and then if I click, you see I've been able to redirect myself to the home page. So again, if I click contact page and back to contact page, click the home page and back to home page. Okay, let's look at service page. Now this service page, there is no link that can take us back to home page or contact page. So quickly, I'm going to do that. So it's services.html document. Start the heading. I'm going to create an anchor that will take me to home page, and then specify the hypertext reference whose location is this index.html because they live in the same directory. Save this, back to the browser, click, boom, and then it works. Again, contact, good. Netflix obviously will load the Netflix page for us. All right. Next is let's look at the target attribute. Remember the target attribute in the HTML anchor tag. Let's look at the description again. It specifies where to open the linked document. If you want the document to stay in the same page, right, you don't specify the target. But if you want it to be opened on a new tab, then you have to set the target attribute to _blank. So let's see how we can do that. But before then, let's see this again. You see, as I'm clicking this service page, I'm on the same page, right? On the same web page. Let me close this. I'm still on the same page, back to home on the same page. But now I want a situation whereby if I click on service page, it should open on a new tab, which means this home page should maintain this tab, and then the new link that was clicked should be open on a new tab. So let's see. That's service, right? So services link that is on home page Let's try it on contact. I don't want to do it on the service because of this long or absolute part, but it doesn't matter. You can try it. It will still work though. All right. So on contact, I'm going to set the target to underscore blank. Save. Back to the browser. Refresh. You have to refresh actually. So if I click contact page, you see it's opened the contact page on a new tab. So this also improve your site. I mean, I think if you look at web application like LinkedIn, I think if you have any external link, right, they will never load it on the same page. They will ensure that the page is loaded in another tab. Do you get the point? So this way, they believe that the online visitor will be able to go back to their page, because nobody actually want their visitor to leave their page. People actually want to retain online visitors on their website. So this is one of the way you can improve your site to ensure that users can easily go back to your page. Imagine me clicking on Netflix and then Netflix gets loaded on the same page. And if, for instance, I am a movie lover, right? I might even forget that I was coming from a particular site. So this way, you have to ensure that if you are creating links, know when to use the blank, the underscore blank, or you want your users to remain on the same page. All right. So that's that for the target, and then we have the title. Title actually gives gives additional information, or a more descriptive text, a tooltip basically. That is, when a user mouse over the link text. For instance, if I mouse over this, nothing is happening in here. But if I introduce the title attribute, right, anytime I mouse over the content, it will generate a tooltip telling the user what that link is all about. So let's see. And let's say on Netflix, right? On the title, you can use this title on any HTML element actually, and it will work fine. So the title, I will say go to Netflix, go to Netflix, save. I'm going to refresh. Now, if I keep my mouse over this Netflix page, look at what just happened. You see the go to Netflix, right? So this is another way you can improve your site, basically, or the user experience of your site. Please, are we all together?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Just want to confirm that I'm not alone. Okay, so absolute link, relative, or which other one? We have the internal. Yeah, we have the internal link. Let's take it back to the slide. Back to the slide. We have the link. Okay, let's look at email link first. Email link. And now you can see the three links that we have created, right? They are on the same line, and that's because in HTML we have two types of elements. We have we have the block level element and inline level element. Don't worry, there's a separate session for that. We're going to talk more on the block level element and inline level element, but for the sake of this session, right? I'll quickly talk about them briefly. Now, a block level element is an element that takes the full width of its parent. So whatever the width of its parent is, the child element will ensure that it's stretched to occupy the entire width. But an inline level element takes the exact width of its content. So the exact width of the first content here is service page, right? Now we have the width from where this S starts and then where the E actually ends. And that's why you see that Netflix page and contact page can easily wrap, and then they can be aligned side by side. So an inline level element takes the exact width of its content, unlike block level element. So like a good example of a block level element is this H1. As you can see, H1 will take the full width of its parent, because obviously the parent of the H1 is body. Let's take it back to the document. Look at H1. The direct parent is this body, right? So H1 is the direct child to body element, and then A tag is an inline level element, and that's why they are taking the exact weight of their content. But then you can format it using the BR tag. There is a tag called BR, and which means break. So which means after the first link, I want to break. So break is a self-closing tag. Save this, head back to the browser, refresh. So you see now I have been able to format this service page link, and then I will do the same for the Netflix. Save. So I think it's well formatted, and you can easily read these 3 links. Good. Now mail to the email links rather. So I would like to break this as well so that we can explain the email link. So I'm writing a comment. Okay. So still the same a tag. Let's say mail to Timmy. All right. Mail to Timmy, and then the hypertext reference is going to be, now this is a default text. It has to be mail to, please. Mail to, and then full column, then followed by the email address of the person you want to send the mail to. So I'll just put in my email here, timianilola@gmail.com. timianilola@gmail.com. Now, if everything is set correctly, if you head back to the browser and refresh, right, and click on this link, it will open the default email service that you have on your system, and then to enable you to send mail to this address. So let's try it. We head back to the browser. I'm going to refresh. So mail to Timmy, click. So it will open my Outlook basically, and if you have other email service, it will actually open it for you. So this is how you can achieve the email link in HTML. Any question, please? All right, no question. Next one is the internal link. I mentioned that there are situations whereby if you are scrolling through a particular web page, right, and you get to the bottom of the page, usually there is this up arrow button that you can click, and then it will take you to the top of the page, right? Now that kind of link happened on the same web page. So far, all these links, right, they are taking us to another page. Now service page, now there is actually a service.html that has been created, same thing as Netflix. Okay, so we have the Netflix site, we have the contact page as well, and of course the mail to, which open up the email service on our system. But now we want to create a link on the same web page. We should be able to redirect users on the same page. All right, so I'm going to do something right now. After this anchor tag, okay, so we want to talk about the internal. Let me create an H2 and say internal link. Okay, good. So actually, I'm going to introduce a bit of CSS now. Don't worry if you don't understand what is going on. I just want to ensure that there is a way we can scroll on this page. So what I will do is I will increase the height of this H2, and quickly I will just use the inline CSS, which is style. Set the height to maybe 120 VH. So 120 viewport height. Again, don't worry, please don't beat yourself if you don't understand what's going on here. The whole idea is for us to be able to scroll on our web page, and then to be able to achieve this internal link. So save and good. You see, I can now scroll. I can scroll because I have increased the height of this H2. Another thing I'm going to do is I will create a few contents, maybe 3 H3, and say I don't know what to type. I will say heading 3, and then finally I'm going to create a link. I will say say top. Okay, top. So which means if I click on this top, it should take me to the top of my web page, of the current web page, basically. Now for the href, or the hypertext reference value, we need to pass an ID. Okay, we need to pass an ID, and no, the first thing we need to do is to identify the top where we actually want the link to actually take us to. Now we want the link to scroll to the top of the web page, right? So we can simply assign an ID attribute to this h1. So ID is another special attribute in HTML. All right, and what an ID does is that it uniquely identify an element in your HTML document. We have class attributes, we have ID attributes. Okay, so ID uniquely identify an element in an HTML document. So I'm going to give this a unique ID. Let's say top. Save. Now in the href, to reference that, I need the hash symbol, and then followed by the ID name. No space, please. This hash symbol is very, very important. And then the ID, this ID that we actually specify on this element. All right. So I'm going to save. Now let's take a look at the output. Okay. Refresh first, and then now I'm scrolling. Good. You can see we have our identity and then top. Now to go to the top, I'm going to click, and then you see it takes me to the top of the page. Please, do you understand what just happened now? Do you understand what just happened now, please?
Please.
Sorry?
Please, can you take that part over again?
This last part, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Sure. Okay. First, let me go back to the document, to the web page. Now, what just happened is but please, have we ever come across a page like that, whereby when you get to the bottom of the page, there is this button you can click, and it will take you back to the top of the page? Have we? Any of us? Have we experienced any of that?
Yes.
Good, exactly. Now, the first thing you need to understand is this ID. Okay, just as I've mentioned, this is called an ID, and it is an attribute. Remember, an attribute gives additional information about an element. It's just like how you can model an object, right? Okay, attributes of a person is the person's first name, the person's date of birth. So similarly, this H1 element, we are describing it more, or we are giving it more information, and as part of its attributes, we have the ID. All right. So this name, you can give it any name. Trust me. Okay, let me change it to head. Okay, no, top head. Head. So now I've given this head, and remember this is an ID. So which means in this same document, no any element should have the same ID name head. I mean, if we should be able to do, or if we should be able to have another element with an ID of head, it means that it is no longer an ID, right? Because ID is meant to be what? To be unique. All right. So now, since we have assigned this ID to this H1, we now go back. We go to the link. Okay. So here is the link. This top will not work actually, because we have changed the ID to head, right? Now let's try it. Save. Refresh. Okay, now the reason why this works is because automatically links refreshes our page. Whenever we click on links, they refresh our page. All right, but then for you to get the desired output, please ensure that you set the correct ID, which is head. Any part of your page, any part at all. Okay. Okay, let's try something else. After this, maybe I should increase the height of this for us to understand what is going on. I'm going to increase the height. I'm going to give it 50 port height. So we're going to scroll more. Okay. Oh yes, it won't work because it's an inline level element. All right, so I'm going to get another element. So if you get to CSS, you're going to understand why and set height on an inline level element. The network is bad and your phone is about to die. So sorry. Okay, so I'm going to get another heading. Say I can take another heading and then increase the height to 50 port height. Save and good. So I will create a link here. After the H3, I want a link that will take me to to this internal link. Okay, to this internal link actually. So this. So first I need to identify the element internal link where DAO. Good, yeah. So I'll give this an ID of, let's say, internal ID, and then this guy is going to be hash, name of the ID, internal save. Of course, we need a text. Go to internal, and then refresh again. Good. So now I'm going to click. Can this particular class video be available? Sure. Videos, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can fetch it. Good. So you see, I don't know, guys, please, I don't know if you understand what just happened right now. It ensures that the page now starts at that particular ID. You see that we can't actually see this top part. Please, are we together? Okay, let me try it again. Now go to internal. Boom. Can we see that?
Yeah.
So do you understand now? Now, if I click top, if I click go to top, you see I can see the home page because the ID was set on the home page. Please, are we okay with that? Can we proceed?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so that's that basically on the link, I guess. Is there any other thing? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, so best practices for using HTML links are accessibility, ensure links are descriptive and meaningful for screen readers. Yes, trust me, there are other people that visit your website, and what I mean is that people with disabilities like the blind, right? They actually rely on screen readers. So when you are creating a website, ensure that you use descriptive and meaningful names, okay, descriptive text and meaningful text, so that it will help these people to understand what your site is all about. And another one is usability. Test links to ensure they are working correctly and lead to the intended content. All right. Good. Now, I'm going to break this link now. For instance, I'm going to pass a wrong name, contact X. Obviously, if you look at our Explorer, we don't have any HTML documents with the name contact X. We only have contact, right? So I'm going to save this document and then back to our page. Now I will click on contact page. Okay, I did not refresh, that's why actually. So refresh please, and then contact page. You see what just happened? That your file couldn't be accessed, and that's because there is no document with this name contactx.html. Are we okay with that, please? So usability is very, very important. Always test your link, ensure that they are all working before you deploy your site. So I'm going to correct this contact.html, and then I'm going to refresh again. Click, then it works. Nice. And then we have SEO, that's search engine optimization. This relevant anchor text that describes the linked content for better search engine optimization. Yes. So you have to optimize your website basically for search engine. Please, one last thing before we proceed. One last thing. And now I would like to create another folder here. I would like to create a folder, a new folder, and I will name this pages, and in pages folder. So I'm going to right click on pages folder and create a new file, a new HTML document. I will name this. How can we name this? How can we name this? Ooh, contact about. Okay, about.html. Right, about.html. Please take note of this folder structure. We have just one folder here, pages, and right in the pages folder we have about.html, right? So I'm going to close it. So one folder and 3 files. So in about.html, I'm just going to quickly get this HTML, markup, head, body, name set to about page. About page, good. Now from the home page, that is the index.html, if I want to visit the about page, right now, let's do it here. That's after the contact page. Let's have the about page. Can be anywhere actually, it doesn't matter, but because it is a relative link, that's why I'm putting it under it, because of this comment, please. So about page, and I need this break tag to put the link for me. Okay, about page. So one may actually think, I will just type about.html. So can someone tell me, is this going to work? That's a question, please. Anyone? Nobody?
Yes, sir, it will.
It will. Someone says it will work. I'll take a look at the structure carefully. We have about.html in pages folder, and then index is actually it's not going to work.
Yeah.
All right, let's confirm that. So it's not going to work. Actually, it's not going to work. I'll refresh first. So this is about page. If I click, so it breaks actually. So your files couldn't be accessed, and that's because we specify the wrong path. We specify the wrong relative link. All right. So that way, this means that since we are on index.html, look at it here. This is the current web document, or the current HTML document, index.html. We want to create about link. So using the relative link, right, it means that we have to reference pages first, because about.html is inside the pages folder or pages directory. All right, so you have to call on pages first, and then // / means you want to read all the files and folder inside pages folder. And right now we only have one file, which is about.html. So pages / about.html. Then this we solve it. So this we fix it, and then we head back to the browser, back, refresh if you want, and then about page, and it works. Do you understand, please? Okay, I guess that's a
Yes.
yes. Please help us make the video available after. Okay, I will try my best. I will try my best. All right. Pages / about.html. Guys, please, in case you have any question, you can ask before we proceed to other concepts in HTML, please. Pages /
I have a
about.html.
question.
One. I'm listening.
Okay. So my question is, for instance, maybe you have written like a lot of code now, and there is a mistake in the code. Maybe you didn't put the right source path. How would you be able to find that out?
If you made a mistake and then
Yes.
you are trying to identify, well, there is another section where you can validate your HTML document. There's what we call HTML validator.
Okay.
And then I mentioned that you have to test all your link. Remember when I introduced X to this guy here
Yes.
the other time?
Yes.
So the link did not work actually because we don't have any document with the name contact X. So for
Mm.
each link that you create in your document, you have to test it and ensure that it works. You get the point.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. All right. So before we proceed, please. Now from about page, let me go back. Now this is about page, and I want to access home page from about page, right? Let's see how we can do that. Remember, index.html is the home page, right? And index.html is not in the same folder as about page. About page, that is about.html, is in pages folder, and I want to access index.html. So which means from about.html to access index.html, I have to what? I have to move backward once. Okay, let me use the file explorer. Look at it here. This is what our folder structure looks like. We have the pages folder, the contact.html, index.html, and the services.html. Initially, we had a about.html link in our index. So which means for us to access about.html right from index, right, we have to enter the pages first, and then we can now see the about page, which was what we did here. And go back to index, pages, and then / about.html. Now, what we want to do is we want to access index.html right from about page. So right now, index is not inside of our pages folder. So index is not in pages folder. For us to access index from about page, it means we have to go back one step, a step backward. So I will go back. Now only then I can now see what index.html. So to go a step backward in the HTML, that is, if you're writing it in your hypertext reference, we use the double dot and a /. Let's try it. About.html, I want to create a page. Home page. So a step backward, dot /. So you see dot / now it gives us access to all the files and folder in that directory. So you can now easily access index.html. Save. Then if I head back to the browser, refresh, you should be able to go back to home page. Okay, home page, back to about page, back to home page. Please, do you understand? Okay, yes.
No, can you come again, please?
Which part, please?
The //
All right.
index.
Sure. So, the truth is, this is where most people actually miss it. Trust me. Probably after this session, you can watch this part again, please. It will help. Okay, back to the folder structure. Okay, so we have the 5 links. Okay, links. Now in this directory, we have pages folder, contact.html file, index.html, and services.html, right? And in pages, we have just one file, which is about.html. And we want to access index.html from about, but index is not in the same folder as about page. Do you get the point? So which means for us to access index.html from this page, from this about.html, we need to go back. Now from index to about, we are going forward, right? From index to about, we are going forward, which means we access pages first. So forward to the front and then about. But from about to index, we are moving backward. So backward once to index.html. So if you want to achieve this in your code, going backward a step, use // and that is why if I take us back to about.html, for us to access index page, we need this // for us to see index.html. Okay, I think to throw more light to this, I'm going to create another folder now in the pages. This time around in pages folder, I'm going to create a new folder and I will name it let's say shops. Yeah, shops. Now in shops, I'm going to create a new file and then name it shop1.html. So because of time, I'm just going to copy everything here. Sorry, highlight, copy, and then to shop1, paste, save, and then I'm going to edit the title to maybe shop1 page, then the heading obviously to shop1 page. Okay, let's see. Let's access shop1 now. I'm going to open shop1. Okay, good. So pages, shops, and then shop1. Shop1, good. Now we have this link already in shop1, right? You can see, but this link is only going backward a step, right? A step backward. Now let's see if it's going to work. Actually, it's not going to work. So I'm going to click, and then your file could not be accessed. Why? Because we went a step backward. We're supposed to go twice. Now let me go back to the structure, to the folder structure. Now this is our target document, right? This is the document we want to redirect our user to, and then the source is actually in the pages, shops, and then shop1. Now count the step. For us to see index, we need to go backward 1. Now this is the first step. Index page, index.html is not here, so we need to go another step backward 2. Now we can now see what index.html. So to fix that in our code, remember this is shop1.html. Please shop1.html. To fix that, we are moving a step, two steps backward. So .. that's one step, then .. that's two steps, then index.html. Save to the browser. I'm going to refresh the page and then home page, and it works. All right, I think we are good with that.